News 5 at noon is being brought to you by Insurance Corporation of Belize, serving Belize for 40 years.
Good afternoon, Belize. It's midday and you're tuned into the news at noon, where we bring you the latest updates from around the country. I'm Isana Cayetano, and here's what's making headlines today. Mother of alleged gang figure 32 claims human rights violations behind bars. A 6-year-old critical after hit and run in Cotton Tree. Family pleads for help. Fisheries Association demands more consultation on bold reef protection plan. And Belize sees fewer visitors in October, but high season brings hope. These stories are coming up in just 1 minute.
When I was a student, ICB was there to protect me, ensuring my education and future. When I got my first car, ICB was there to protect me, providing excellent coverage and peace of mind on the road. When we moved into our first apartment, ICB was there to protect us, securing our belongings and giving us a sense of security. And when we got our first house, ICB was there for us, protecting our home and everything we've worked so hard for.
At every step of your life's journey, ICB is there for you. For more information, call 224-5328 or visit our nearest branch.
Welcome back. On Wednesday, we heard from the mother of Jareem Stain, better known on the streets as 32. He's currently behind bars at the Belize Central Prison after violating a court order. Now, Stain isn't just any 22-year-old from Lake Independence. He's an alleged gang member whose name has been tied to a fierce rivalry in that area. In fact, there have been several attempts on his life. Back in October, when he was denied bail and sent to prison, the lower court said part of the reason was for his own safety. But now, his mother is speaking out, claiming her son is being mistreated and that his human rights are being violated while he remains locked down. Earlier today, Newscast spoke with Virgilio Murillo, the CEO of the Colby Foundation, to get his response to these serious allegations.
Well, firstly, I will let you know we don't have any hole around here. We have what you call a restrictive housing unit for prisoners that we cannot manage in the general population. For violent prisoners, that kind of prisoner, because you realize that, prison is about safe custody. And whenever a prisoner is violent, we need to put him in an appropriate housing unit where we can control and manage them, because prison are about control. Well, actually, he has his rival here, and he would have made after the rival if we had not intervened. So he wanted to get another prisoner killed, and I will not call any name, but certainly what he does in the society is not going to play out in the prison. Definitely not. So in the society, he can more freely do what he does, but certainly not in this facility.
There are reports coming out of the prison that he has made phone calls from within the prison with certain threats.
I received that intelligence as well. And like I tell you, we got to make sure that what plays out in the society doesn't play out in the prison. Remember, prisons are microcosms of society. But we don't need to stick to the T of the word with that kind of thing. What you allow will continue. And we certainly will not allow it in this prison.
A 6-year-old boy from Cotton Tree Village is fighting for his life tonight after a horrific traffic accident involving a motorcycle. The child is currently admitted at the Western Regional Hospital, and the images shared by his mother on Facebook are heartbreaking, showing him badly injured and receiving urgent care. On Monday evening, a 16-year-old was reportedly riding a motorcycle through the village when he slammed into the child. According to the mother's social media post, the teenager didn't stop to help. Instead, he rode off, leaving the little boy bleeding on the street. She is calling the act wicked and heartless. The family is now asking for help to cover medical expenses as their son battles to recover. We'll have more details on his condition and what authorities are saying about this incident later in the newscast. The president of the Belize Flat Fishery Association, Eworth Garbott, is calling for more dialogue on the Resilient Bold Belize initiative. Today he hosted a press conference to put those concerns front and center. As we reported on Wednesday, the initiative aims to protect 20% of Belize's coral reef as part of the Blue Bond's broader goal to safeguard 30% of our ocean space. It sounds ambitious, but Garbott says there's a problem. Stakeholders whose livelihoods depend on these waters aren't being properly consulted. So he brought those voices to the table today. On the other side, the Ministry of Blue Economy says they're listening. When we spoke with CEO Beverly Wade earlier this week, she assured us that the Resilient Bold Belize plans to hold more targeted consultations in response to these concerns.
We very much appreciate the feedback that we've gotten from Mr. Garbutt, but not only from Mr. Garbutt, we've gotten feedback from commercial fishers also. We've gotten feedback from other users from other places, written feedbacks to say we want to have more discussions on these areas based on the presentation that you've now come to consult us on. And that is very much welcome. We have now planned a series of focus consultations, not the broader consultations, primarily focus consultations with these user groups, not only the flats fishers that Mr. Garbutt represents, but also some of the commercial fishers that are interested in a particular area. Some fishers wrote us about a particular area that was not east of Belize City. You understand me? That piece of reef that is out there. And we have to look at that because the idea isn't to marginalize Belizeans, but it's to see how we could now find that how do you say, that balance or that compromise where we ensure that the very reason why we want to look carefully at coral reefs, that we're not undermining that primary reason, which is really for people.
Tourism numbers took a slight hit in October, and here's why. According to the Belize Tourism Board, just over 25,600 overnight visitors came to Belize last month. That's a 5.1% drop compared to October last year, about 1,368 fewer tourists. So what happened? Well, the U.S. federal government shutdown in October played a big role. But here's the silver lining. BTB Director Evan Tillett says the dip was offset by record arrivals earlier this year. And thankfully, the shutdown ended 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, the unofficial kickoff of Belize's high season. So, while October was a little slow, the industry is still on track for a strong finish.
October was also a little softer than 2024. In fact, this entire year has been a very volatile year in terms of arrival numbers. You have some months that we had record-breaking arrivals. If you look at January, February, April, July, August, they all set new benchmark in terms of monthly arrivals. And you look at the months in between, you'll see some dips. And so it's been a very challenging year, and there's no way of getting around that. What we do, we continue to market and try to work on what we call a green season marketing plan. We have the Belizean Traveler marketing program that we work with to try and push. We work with the private sector to try and get deals so that we can put it out to the international market so that we can get people in. So those are things that we do to try and mitigate the low numbers in those months. But that has been traditionally the two lowest months on the tourist arrival calendar, September and October.
That's a wrap for the news at noon. But don't worry, there's plenty more coming your way at 6 p.m. We'll dive deeper into these stories and more. In the meantime, visit greaterbelize.com and follow us on Facebook for real-time updates. And don't miss Open Your Eyes tomorrow morning for fresh takes on today's headlines. Thanks for tuning in, Belize. Stay informed, stay inspired, and have a fantastic afternoon.
News 5 at noon was brought to you by Insurance Corporation of Belize, serving Belize for 40 years.
I'm Britney, one of the newest faces around here. My stories are heartfelt and bring a fresh perspective. On the job, there is no challenge too great. Flooded highways, raging fires, or asking tough questions. My determination and willingness to connect with people help to deliver stories that put you, our viewers, at the forefront of issues. My motto? Accurate, timely, and relevant. I am News 5.